Welcome to SML Total Access, where we break down news, predictions, and more in our Madden League. Now, let's get fired up for SML football.
Hello and welcome back to SML Podcast. This is SML Total Access. I am Primetime000, and with me today, as always, is my trusted co-host, Tiny Titan. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just hanging out. It's been a little while. I'm glad we're getting back to it.
Yeah, it's good to be back in black. Let's go ahead and get started here with the first topic, which is a lot of moves happened this last offseason. They're starting to show which made big impacts, which kind of fizzled out, all that. What offseason move kind of made a big impact, I guess good or bad, and kind of shocked you, maybe?
Okay, well, this one was kind of hard. It's hard to keep up with the all the offseason acquisitions, which would include drafting. So, I mean, this one will probably surprise you, but I just noticed from production standpoint, Raiders receiver, Yates, I think his last name was, man, he's got 400-yard games already, and his two other games were 93 yards and 65 yards. So that's going to be a good compliment to Tyreek Hill, but Raiders got to win you some games, bro. Another one on the bad side is my quarterback. Probably, like, he played a good game last week for once, and whenever I drafted him, of course, everybody's saying he's a lackluster player. So hopefully I can build him up a little bit after that. But yeah, as for like free agency moves and stuff, I don't really see anybody that's made a huge difference in a team and how they play, honestly.
Yeah, I would say free agency-wise, obviously Graham's brought in that receiver, Mike Evans, spent almost 30% of his cap on his receiving core, has a bottom 10 receiving core in the league. Stat-wise, obviously now looking at Bomber traded for Baker Mayfield. He was supposed to replace Josh Allen. That was supposed to catapult him to the next level. He was supposed to be the next big thing, and Baker's stats are actually worse than Josh Allen's stats this year. The Jaguars are winning games, but I think we're starting to see a trend in Jacksonville. Baker Mayfield not working. Josh Allen not working. Jameis Winston not working. Is it the quarterback issue, or is Bomber just an average passer?
I don't know, but I like how you turn this around on Bomber somehow or another. But you always tend to do that.
I like to.
I don't know, man. Like, I thought it was weird how Josh Allen would never develop, and Bomber always had decent numbers with him. It wasn't fantastic, but he was probably top 15. And so I was always surprised why he didn't develop. And I don't know. We'll see. Like, Baker's been kind of average at best, but he's still 7-0. So. That's what matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters, exactly. So we'll see what happens. Let's move on now to second down. KJ Slander, you know him pretty well. He took a loss. He's kind of struggling against NYT, it seems like. But overall, KJ's winning some games. We brought it up on first and goal, but let's bring it up here. Is KJ legit? And what shot does KJ have of possibly making the playoffs?
So I'm not ready to answer whether KJ is legit for sure, but I will say, if you make mistakes against him, he will beat you. Like, you got to play a clean game. That's how he plays. He's going to, take his time, run the ball, be very conservative. But if you turn the ball over, man, he will take advantage of it. Just ask Mike. He beat the brakes off Mike the other day because Mike kept throwing pick sixes. And his defense is top notch, man. He's top 10 in every category. So, like I said, that just shows you that if you mess up, you ain't got much room to make up for it. Now, what's interesting, man, it's crazy. This fourth place schedule is finally working out for him, I think, because his remaining schedule is Raider, Koopa, terrible two-step. He's got Faz and Polly and Matt right there. And then he's got Woods, Latin, Fig, and Hova. Like, dude, I easily see 10 wins there. So, like, why would that not make a wild card spot?
Yeah, it seems to me that he has a shot at the playoffs. You listed about 3 or 4 games where it's going to be tough. I don't think he can lose all those games and make it. He's going to have to win at least one, probably 2 of those, and win the ones where he's at least somewhat favored in. So maybe against Matt, maybe against Hova. Obviously now that's not even Hova anymore, that's Finn's. But he's got some games where he's still at least somewhat favored. So that'll be interesting to see. I think KJ has a good shot at quite possibly making the playoffs. Obviously, he'll probably be a number 7 seed. That's going to be tough because he's going to play in Indianapolis. He's going to play Jacksonville. He's going to play somebody of that caliber where it'll be tough to see him advance, but I don't think we've ever seen him in the playoffs, and it'll be good TV. So moving on now. third down. Most impressive team so far. We mentioned Jacksonville's undefeated. Who's just been impressing you, just in general? Who, I guess.
Well, we just touched on him. I'm going to say KJ just because, like, who expected this? You know, I mean, 4-2, that's more wins than he gets in, 2 seasons combined most of the time. But another one is Faz. He's like got a mission, it looks like, this year. He's going in there and just beating up everybody. And I think doesn't he play Rowan tonight? I think he's going to take care of him. So I don't know. I want to, Faz is looking pretty good so far. And of course, KJ with, like I said, nobody's expected to see this coming.
Yeah, I'll say, in a bad way, I guess a bad impressive is San Francisco. They're still 4-2, but Dump obviously mentally checked out. He's got some stuff going on, so you can't really blame him for it. But this not the same 49ers team. And then looking at the AFC, the Ravens are 7-0, and I know NYT. He's got an 88 overall team, a stacked roster. Lamar Jackson's like the best in the game, whether NYT wants to admit that or not. He's beat Latin, Hova, KJ, Paulie, Matt, Mike, and KJ again. So maybe his schedule isn't the toughest, but he's winning games. He's beat premier talent in Paulie. He's just winning, and I think that's what we haven't seen from NYT in quite some time is just consistency. He's throwing the ball well. I labeled him a bottom 5 passer. Now he's playing like he's a good passer. We'll see how that plays throughout the season. But I think that this is a good style that NYT's got going on. He obviously traded for that defensive tackle, which that was a big move in the offseason. His defense is solid. So yeah, that Ravens team, they might be able to win a playoff game. I don't know. So we'll see what happens there. NYT has made one Super Bowl, and it wasn't all the way back when. I know people make those jokes, but NYT beat Dan in the playoffs and made it to the Super Bowl. So it's very possible he could get on a run again. Who knows? I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I didn't. For some reason, I didn't think about NYT there, but yeah, he's for sure the one that you wouldn't really expect to be undefeated still, and he's played well, man. You could tell if you watch his games, he's being a lot more conservative, taking what he's got, and just letting his team be, take over because they are that good.
Yeah. So speaking of undefeated, let's move on. Fourth down now. What undefeated team stays undefeated the longest?
Okay, so looking at their schedules, I got Dan losing in week 9. Do you know who he plays?
I'm going to assume Indianapolis.
It's Indianapolis. I got Dan losing there, and I got Faz losing week 8 or 9 to Rowan or Woods.
Wow.
And NYT, I figure, will lose to Bomber in week 9 as their first loss. That's just the 3 that I figured would have their losses come up the quickest. And Bomber, he's got Dump and RD back-to-back week 10 or 11, so I figure he's going to lose one of them. I don't see anybody going undefeated all year. There was one, I think it was NYT actually, though. He's got, after that Bomber game, if he can beat Bomber somehow, he's got Faz week 16. Other than that, he should be favored in the rest of the games. So, I mean, it's possible, I guess.
Yeah, I think the NYT has the lightest schedule by far, so he has the best shot looking at it that way, but NYT as a player, obviously of the undefeated, probably has a track record of losing the most. So I don't know. I don't think anyone goes 16-0. I think the Bombers got the best shot at extended, I guess, perfection throughout this season. Once again, another shot here at Bomber. Regular season warrior, wins a lot of regular season games. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's still got some tough games. He's got Indianapolis left, like you said, a few other tough guys. Dan, I know Dan can't beat me. Dirty Dan, Pastor Dan, when are you going to do it? Probably not this year. And Paulie, by the way, 3-3, just lost a field. So that's something to note. Last year he started off 9-0, 10-0 maybe.
Yeah, he was getting close to the end of the season being undefeated. That's really surprised me how he's fell off this season. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if it's his focus or his team regressed a little. I don't know what it is.
His running back got hurt, I know, so that's something to keep an eye on. Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's move on now. Extra point. Everybody's favorite topic here. Tiny Titan top 10 power rankings. I think it's the top 10. Maybe it's top 5. But Tiny, I know there's some hype. You listed some guys in orders. A few guys got butthurt. What's your rankings this week?
I only done 5 this time because once you get down below, from that 5 to 10, it's kind of like it's all mashed together. You can't really separate the guys too much. It's all pretty much the same team, So
Now, before you do
As of
this,
now.
can you walk us
Okay.
through your thinking in this top five? Like, what do you like? Let's say it's a cake and you're throwing in ingredients. What bakes this cake? Is it recent success? Is it historical success? Because power rankings always get a bunch of crap.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, you're gonna, as a human, you're gonna use your own thoughts on, as many times as you've seen a player, or if you watch a player more than others, so you kind of see how they play and what tendencies they have. Like, for example, if somebody's watching me, they know I'm going to do the dumbass pass at the end of the game
Yep, yep,
when
yep.
I'm going to score, try to score to tie or win, and I want to throw a pick. So, like, you just know people have tendencies. And one thing I look at as well is your points for and points against. Because once you get into the meat of the season, like we are now, if you're averaging 20 points more than another player in 7 games, that's saying a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care who you're playing every week. And then also, of course, I kind of just take into account the schedule. Um, so for number one, still, I have Dan.
Nice.
Like I said, I do the points for and points against. He's averaging 20 points more than his opponents,
Wow.
and and his division's pretty decent. So Dan's going to be up there until he loses a game, probably. But I got Faz number two because he's pretty much the NFC version of Dan right now, just beating the brakes off everybody. He's scoring 42 points a game, and his points against is 19. So obviously, it's not as much as a defensive game as Dan makes it.
Mhm.
Faz likes to go out there and just sling it all game and do his little spin moves and jumps with Dalvin Cook over there. And then I got Bomber at 3. Now, the only reason why I put Bomber at 3 is because, kind of like we touched on earlier, he's it's just not impressive, really. I mean, I know it's sad for me to say that. I don't win in many games, but I expect a little more out of Bomber. His points for is 27, his points against is 12. So his games are a little lower scoring, been closer, and like you said, with his quarterback, it's just not been super impressive watching him play. I felt like he's played much better with Josh Allen in the
Yeah.
previous years. And then at 4, I got NYT. Paulie and Matt, and then he had the blowout against Mike, are pretty impressive wins. But now we're seeing Paulie. He's fell off a little bit, it looks like. And Matt, I don't really know what Matt is, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
So NYT, like I said, he don't have much going on his schedule except for Faz up here in a few weeks. And then, of course, he's got one more game with Woods. So I'm going to keep him at 4 until, like, if he beats Faz in that Week 16 game, he would definitely be, top 1 or 2, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then my 5th one was kind of a tough choice for me, but I'm going to go with the football team. His great win is really only against DMUs. His schedule hasn't been, terrible, but I mean, if he's only lost one game, man, and I know how he plays. I've played him a couple times,
Mhm.
and like I said, I take that biased thought into it. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good. The one thing I want to comment on is Matt. We don't know who he is. I think he's a better RD cheerleader than he is a Madden player. He really big support in RD. I noticed in the streams and chat, which is good. If he can't throw the ball and he's got to deal with Drew Lock, maybe he's found something he can enjoy. Anyways, it's not an X Factor quarterback, it appears. So guys, let us know what you think. I think Dan is definitely the best player right now. I think Faz is a good number 2. They're both electric, both dynamic, both blowing guys out. Comment in the chat what you think. What should the true power rankings be? I don't know. I'd put myself in the top 5, but hey, that's just me.
Well, you got some big games coming up here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I've got like 3 in a row, actually. I got Paulie, RD, Dan all in a row, so that'll be fun. And Meats, by the way, I didn't forget your guaranteed win against me this season. So that's neither here nor there, guys. This was SML Total Access. I'm Prime. He's Tiny. And you guys are you guys, I guess. So thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good day. Be safe, and have a great night.